why we all come to church? Why do you think you come?
Because you like it.
Like-minded people.
Like-minded people.
Like-hearted people.
Like-hearted people.
I like the stirring of spirituality in my being.
The stirring of spirituality in my being.
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Thank you.
Remembering who we are.
Remembering who we are. Truth.
Sharing.
What was that? Friendship.
Sharing.
Sharing.
Fun and laughter.
Fun and laughter. So you know there's always that question about, why do you have a mother?
Hard to get here with that one.
So in terms of a body, and some of us think we're bodies, in terms of coming into an embodiment, meaning having a body, wearing a body, and being born to a body, yeah, we have a mother and a father. We have an egg and a sperm, so to speak. But what about your beingness? What about who you really are? Which is not your body. You have a temporary body, but you're more than your body. Robert used the word Christ. By the way, this isn't what I wrote or what I thought I was going to talk about, so we'll see where it goes. So you're more than your body. You are a light. That Christed state is being a light unto the world. It's literally being the one that shines bright. And it doesn't matter the particular religious belief you have. It matters that you show up. And some of you show up in bright colors, and some of you show up in darker colors, and some of you show up with various shades of color in your skin, in your eyes, and in the sound of your voice, right? Don't we all kind of show up differently? Well, what we were sharing this morning in our miracle mindfulness is we were actually sharing about the truth or the brand that you're here to bring. And I'd like you to begin to ponder today from this talk about what is your unique truth or the brand that you're here to bring. And by the way, you can brand yourself differently along the way. It's free for you to choose. But I believe there's something significant and meaningful for all of us to be in this world. There's a line that says, God himself, or herself, or itself, is incomplete. God is incomplete without you. That you are in the circle of humanity. Now, Robert was talking about the feminine Christ this morning, about the patriarchal or more masculine version of God in the Old Testament. And I'd like you to begin to be aware of that you have both in you, but some of you have much more feminine qualities, which, believe it or not, the quality of the feminine is inner, receptive, the womb that receives, right? The womb that, the holy room, actually, womb, that receives and opens to receive the ideas of the masculine, the inspiration, the vision, the active or assertive part. When you look at the yin and the yang, how interesting, I wore this today, so I guess this is what was meant to be said. The yin and the yang are the two totally integrated, and you have both in you or you would not be whole. Some of us have more of one and less of the other. Some of us have balance. Some of us shift and change through our lifetime. You are both, the assertive and the passive, the active and the quiet, the outer and the inner, the doer and the, I'll say, nurturer of what is done. So when we talk about, and I heard several words this morning, divine mother, and I heard nurturer, supporter, comforter, that usually, in the old days, came from where? The one who wore a female body. And what's happening today, you guys? What's happening today? Have you noticed in you what's happening? There's a change going on. And it's not the change that we thought, or that we planned for, or that we got stuck with. We're looking at a change in each of us to become the comforter for all who are in need, all the children. To become the supporter, the nurturer, and the nourisher. To feed good food, both for the body, and for the mind, and for the spirit. So because it's Mother's Day, I want to encourage you to start looking at the part of you who is, as I love to teasingly say, the mother. Right? What is the feminine you currently doing? Those of you who like to be macho, or you women who like to be tough and resilient and charge through, me being one. What is ours to do in that comforting, nurturing, nourishing way? Where is the passive receptive in us? Who is listening to Holy Spirit? Who is opening their heart and sitting and being willing to receive all that God good has in store for us? And I'm inviting you to be that. To be the mother in your life. To be the mother in the life of humanity. To be the mother in your own family, in your own community. And to the one who's sitting beside you. So let's look at some of the shifts and changes. Because watching families and watching teens and watching, elders, I watch and see all of it shift. That balance gets shifted back and forth, doesn't it? There are times when someone is down and out and the other person needs to bring the cup of tea. Needs to give them a hug or squeeze their hand or just sing a sweet lullaby. A song that depicts love. I'm inviting you, if you have not done that before, because you have not been well loved before, and yes, there are many who have not been well loved. I'm inviting you to become that one who comforts the other. Whether it's the homeless person, or it's your teenage rebel rouser, naysayer, I'm inviting you to become the one who actually provides what's really needed in that soft, gentle, forgiving, respectful way. These little guys who are up here, you realize that we have a world that now thinks that we're being tough and telling people what they should do, and we have a lot of rules about how you ought to do it all the time, and how you men ought to do this, and how you women ought to do that, right? And how that religion ought to do this, and how the government ought to do that, right? Yeah, doesn't it make you want to squinch up your face? I watched Barbara's face squinch up when I'm talking like this. Yeah, because that's the world. It's very loud, and it tells you it because it thinks it knows. However, you might have noticed that it comes from all positions, not just one. So it can be really confusing. And I'm asking you to be the one who stops the sound. That was good. Right on cue. Who stops the sound, takes a deep breath, or 2 or 5, and listens. What does your heart say? What do you know to be true for you? What are you here to give? What are you here to learn? Who are you really? It's not your body, not your form. What's the function you have come to offer to yourself and to all humanity? Very often, what we call the ego, edging God out, ego, we learn to form. We learn to be a form. You're a secretary. You're a father. You're a disciplinarian. You're a teacher. We learn to form. But I'm asking you to look at your function here. Form follows function. And when you find the function, the way of being you are here to offer, then the form will follow. As an elder, as a youth, as a minister, as a teacher, as a friend. And yes, those of you who recognize the mother in you, those of you who recognize the mother in you, whether you're young or old, rich or poor, male or female, I invite you to listen for all of us. It is your listening that heals. It is your listening that teaches. It is your listening that brings joy and peace and love and hope and faith. So when I asked a while ago, so why do you come to church? And I had a lot of answers, because in this moment, that was your answer. If I asked again, your answer might have changed. Very often we don't know why we come, what we do, where we go, who to interact with. But those of you who are listening, you'll be true. And you will know. For you will ask every day, in every way, where am I to go? What am I to do? Who am I to be with, and how? What is it I'm to say or give? So I'm commending, sometimes called recommending, to all of us, to listen more. Like that. To listen more. Don't distract yourself. You see, you could take the external sounds and distract yourself and get off course like that. Because most of us have been habituated to let something external lead us away from home. God, good, spirit, love, Christ, light, life lives inside you. Not out there. And when you dare, you will care enough to spend time every day, if not every hour and every moment, listening inside to love. Divine Mother, Spirit itself, in you. There all the answers lie. There all prosperity lives, exists. There all health abides on every level. You are the source, and it's the Mother in you, the Spirit in you, the God in you, the Christ in you, that literally guides this world to what it is now and what it will be tomorrow. So I'm going to say Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. I'm going to say Happy Mother's Day to the mothers in my life, and I'm going to ask you to say Happy Mother's Day to the mothers in your life, and I'm going to have you look at them perhaps differently. And the way I would have you look at them is the gift they gave, the wisdom they offered, the precious moment that they shared with you, whether you saw it then as positive or negative. I guarantee you every person who has come into your life gave you something of value to you. And if you have not yet found it, I'm inviting you to listen in your heart deeper. Again. So I'm just going to do mine in front of God and everybody, since you're God and I'm God. So thank you, Mom. I'm going to ask you to do this at the fellowship too, those of you who are willing. Thank you, Mom, for loving everyone equally and making no one special. and remembering to stay connected with everyone that you ever interacted with as they invited you to. And thank you, Grandma. Actually, I had a couple of grandmas, and one was someone who experienced a life of hardship and suffering, as she saw it that way. I want to say that because everybody has stuff. But what she did was she spent a lot of time alone and in quiet to heal herself. And thank you, my other grandma, for being wise enough, no matter what was going on, the depression with all those 8 kids and on the farm and all that stuff, to always take her Sunday afternoon 4-mile walk around the 4 corners and always find someone to care for, to help, to listen to support, to reach out to, provide for. And thank you, Mother Earth. There's a lot of other mothers out there, by the way, you being among them. Thank you, Mother Earth. In every way for reminding that I am infinite, that I am always loved and here to love. Whether it's in a flower, or in the tree, or in the birds, or in the clouds in the sky, you're always there for me. I'm inviting you to love the Mother in you and those you've chosen to receive the mothering that they offer. Everyone is always giving the best they have. Please, please, love you and love the other, whoever they may be. This is your gift and happy Mother's Day.